Hey, actor friends, it's Michael Kostroff. This is sort of a follow-up to last week. Last week I talked about holding yourself accountable for making the writing make sense to you and making it work and not presuming that you know better than the writers. Today I'm going to talk about a just nuanced, slightly different angle on the same thing. Don't gloss over the puzzles and the things that don't make sense in the scene. This may sound like the same topic, but it's not. Sometimes we're like, oh, well, yada, yada, this doesn't make sense, but it's a procedural, or this doesn't make sense, but, it's WB or whatever the hell it is. Or it'll make sense, I'm sure in the context of the full script. That may be true. It may be true that there are things you can't figure out, but try. I was working in my weekly acting class. We were working on a scene. I'll take you through what the puzzle was because it was pretty interesting. These two cops were visiting a guy in prison. He was imprisoned for stealing military guns, and those were confiscated by the feds, and he went to jail. Now, one of those guns has been used in a crime, one of those confiscated guns. And so the cops go and say to him, this guy who's in jail, where are the rest of those guns? How did those guns get used in a crime? And the guy says, I don't know, they were confiscated by the feds. Now that's not the end of the conversation. They keep pushing him. So I said to my actors, wait a minute. If they were confiscated by the feds, why are they pressing this guy? He got caught, the weapons were taken. Now one of the weapons has been used in a crime. And as he says, I don't know where they went after they got confiscated. There has to be more to the story. And as we picked at it, we went, oh, wait a minute. He must be working in connection with a crooked federal agent to resell these confiscated guns. They wouldn't have those contacts. He does. First of all, we know that I left something very crucial out. By the end of the scene, when they've used some intimidation tactics, he says, all right, call this person. He's the one who does this. So it turns out they're right. Not only do we figure that out, but we also figure out that the cops must know this, otherwise they wouldn't have continued the interrogation. They wouldn't even be there. They must know this. And that's the reason why. And, we always talk about having an objective, right? And the objective needs to make sense. They have to have a reason for being in the room. So as we poked at it, we went, oh, wait a minute. The cops know he's lying because they know that there's somebody crooked in the feds and they're reselling these confiscated guns or whatever. And so it gave them a reason when he said, I don't know, it gave them a reason to say, that answer's not good enough, and we're going to interfere with your getting time off for good behavior, etc. So push through those things. Don't gloss over them. When you're studying a scene, don't go, okay, well, that doesn't make sense. Try to make it make sense. Just like I said last week about making the writing make sense, make the storyline and the circumstances, solve the puzzles. Don't gloss over the things that don't make sense in the scene. Very often, those are gifts if you will do your work. Those are very often gifts. Very often. I love those moments of going, oh, aha, I figured it out. And you can do it. You just need to do it. You need to not be lazy. I find the longer I teach and the longer I coach, my most consistent note is slow down. Don't rush to performance. Don't rush to how am I going to perform this? How am I going to present it? How am I going to read these lines? Make sure you have really explored all the corners of the room, where all the little things are hiding, and make sure you've made everything line up like a perfectly aligned spine, and the math has to add up. Again, that is not to say that there will sometimes be sides that, no matter how much you try, they're missing context and they're missing information that's in the rest of the script. But don't make that decision too quickly. And regardless, you have to make decisions and make it make sense to you, even if you have to fill in the blanks. As always, I love your thoughts on these things. I think it's so much fun to do that detective work. You know, it's so much fun. It should be. If it's not, that's something to look at because I love it. Do the detective work. Let me know your thoughts. Please do share these videos if you find them helpful. I don't get anything out of them. I just accept the pleasure of helping my fellow actors, which I really enjoy. So be generous. And I'll be back with more thoughts next week. Hope you're well. Bye.